behind. The last stack of books floated out of reach, and Rose leaned her head against one of the iron bars of the railing. One would have to be very desperate to do that, yes. Then I kept thinking, the only otherworld species that doesn't have some kind of ability to transform a human into one is witches. I could bite someone, as could a vampire. The Fae ritual is more complicated, but they can still elevate a human to Fae if they chose. Rose was watching me. She hadn't realized where I was going with it yet. It makes sense, she said. Witches being the most powerful, or rather having the most obvious power. The lack of that ability keeps someone from creating an army of witches. Correct. But every time one of the species elevates a human, the human becomes immortal. Even mates match the lifespans of their partners if they're not matched. But witches are still mortal. Surely there's a way to make witches live longer. Recognition fled in her eyes. You're trying to find a way to make me immortal. If we can't mate with you, then yes, because I don't want to watch you wither and die. She scooted closer. There is no way. It's part of the way gods keep the otherworld balanced. Rose placed her hand on my chest. I am happy to share my life with the three of you, a full and happy life. I don't want to spend all of it simply trying to make it longer. Has there ever been a witch that was also a wolf, or a vampire, a fae? Rose shook her head. No. You know what happens when witches are turned. Utter destruction. The reactions to the other turning rituals aren't as explosive, but they are deadly. Witches don't wake up from being bitten by a vampire, and the Fae ritual makes us disintegrate. Fuck. I was so sure that there would be a way. Not being bitten, but some kind of other transformation. I guess that there's not another way to turn a witch into a wolf. None that I know of. And like hell am I going to ask the Queen. I laughed. No, asking the Witch Queen about how to turn her daughter into a werewolf, when she was already unhappy with the fact that she was our lover, would only cause more unhappiness. But disappointment came on the heels of that single moment of mirth. I was so sure there would be a way. Balance, she whispered. If people could change species, or become more than one, they would have more power than they were meant to. One more question, I said. Then I promise I'll leave it be, for now. She made a face at for now, but it was beyond my ability to promise that I would leave it alone forever. I loved her too much and too deeply to accept that I would live the majority of my existence without her. If a witch's magic was severed, would that prevent her from becoming Naveri? That gave her pause. Maybe. If the magic is entirely excised, there would be nothing to react with the Canavar venom. But there's no way to test that without risking a witch's life. And then gently, I will not excise my magic. Not even for that chance. It's part of who I am. What kind of magic did she do in your cock to get you up that high? Knox's voice came from down below. Rose put a hand over her mouth to stifle a laugh. I wasn't afraid of heights, but they were not my favourite. Whatever it was, you'll not be getting it. My voice was lighter than I felt. The idea of Rose dying terrified me, even after a long, happy life. The hole where that grief would live was already there, present, showing me what it would be like to live without her. There was something missing from the centre of my chest, and I wanted to fill it with the knowledge that Rose would live with us forever. I let the book in my hand go, the castle snatching it as soon as I released it. If you saw a way, I asked, in future sight, if you saw yourself as immortal, would you seek it out? Rose ran her fingers over her tattooed palms, the visceral reminder of her vows. If I saw myself as immortal, Brandon, I wouldn't need to seek it out. It would already be meant to be. She stood and brushed off her skirt before moving back to the staircase. Before she descended, she looked back. Stop looking, Brandon. Sahar knew the strength he gave, and that it needed limits. Frailty and mortality are the only partners that can temper true power. I've accepted it. You should too. She disappeared, and I heard the sound of Knox flirting.